You know what it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
You know who it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Ode, Maurice, Ode, Maurice.
Maurice, Ode, Maurice, Ode.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy. It's the Black and Snurdy podcast with Ode and Maurice.
Episode 58 of this thing that we've been doing.
Do you know who have been doing this 2 years?
Yes.
In February?
Yes, as of February, it will be our 2-year anniversary
That's
of when we
amazing.
started recording.
I think our podcast is about to be a toddler.
Yes.
It went from doing tummy time to crawling.
Yes.
It's taking some steps.
It survived some dark things that could potentially happen in that 2-year span.
It stayed alive.
Yes, it stayed alive.
It stayed alive.
I didn't want to mention the actual name of it. Our podcast has been thriving out here.
We are thriving. We're in our thriving
Podcast
journey.
is about to learn how to take a shit in that little pot, that little plastic pot that children learn how to take a shit in.
You mean the little potty?
Potty training, yeah. Our podcast is about the potty train. This is gonna be the potty training podcast.
Okay, let's jump in to one of my favorite parts of the
Yes.
podcast. It's questions. Okay,
Questions.
Close your eyes.
We start each episode by asking each other questions, a little get to know you sort of thing for you guys to get to know the host a little bit better. And come on.
You can open your eyes while you're talking about it.
Okay, well.
All right, but now close your eyes.
All right, my eyes are closed.
All right, which card do you want?
This one.
Okay, you go first.
I'm gonna go first. Would you rather meet your great grandchildren or great grandparents?
Because that's either a past or a future.
Yes.
Well, I think it would be better, just because I'm thinking about like the laws of time travel and all that. It probably would be better for me to meet my great grandparents so that I would have less likelihood of like messing up. Well,
That doesn't make any
no,
sense. Don't you
actually,
mean you would
no.
want to meet your grandchildren? Because if you met your grandparents, there's a likelihood that you'll fuck up something and then you might not never
you know
be
what?
born.
When I thought about it, what I was thinking initially was like, I don't want to tell my great grandchildren something or them tell me something that would mess up my life. But then, yeah, I guess if I was gonna like, if the stipulations, okay, wait, what are the stipulations? Is it that am I meeting
You
them?
can ask. You just ask the question.
Am I gonna meet them and be like
You
their time, and they like are not gonna know that I'm their relative?
No, they know you're your relative. They meet you in this time. So grandparents
if they're meeting me
grandparents
here,
come to the future, grandchildren go to the past.
if they're gonna meet me here, well, what are they gonna go back to the future, or they're just gonna be dead?
What did I just say? I just said grandparents go back to the future, grandchildren go back to the past to meet you here.
I understand what you just said,
Cool.
but
and there are no
I'm
additional
asking
questions.
you to clarify
Okay.
whether or not when my grandparents are here,
Yes.
when we finish our little tete-a-tete,
Yes.
are they just going to be back to being dead, or are they going back to the future? Will they
They're
remember
going
anything
back-
that happened during the time that we met?
No, they won't.
Okay.
They're going back to their own time.
Will my great
Have you
grandchildren?
ever seen Our Friend Martin?
I saw it a long time ago.
Yeah, it's those rules. Shout out to anybody who remembers Our Friend Martin.
If you remember Our Friend Martin, please send us a message, comment, something. Because I remember, was that the one with Phil Hartman?
No, that was the one with Samuel Jackson.
Wait, let me
and
look
I
this
think
up.
Oprah Winfrey did
Our
a voice
Friend
in it.
Martin.
Yeah, it's about the little kid who brings Martin Luther King Jr. to the future, but because he removed him from time. Yeah, Our Friend Martin.
This one.
Yes, it's Our Friend Martin rules.
Okay. All right. No, you know what? I still think that I want to say my great grandparents, because I feel like sometimes we don't always appreciate how far we've come and like all the things that we have access to and the resources. And I think that being able to hear my ancestors tell me about all the things that they used to have to do, and not even just like bad things, but like I say all the time that like, yeah, like epigenetics, it may pass down trauma, but it also is passing down all of the goodness that our ancestors have. And I want to know about all the things that are in me that I may not even realize.
Okay, so you'll see your grandparents,
And my
great grandparents.
Wait, we said great grandparents.
Yeah, great grandparents.
Wait, never mind. Sorry, I knew my great grandmother. I already met her. I was thinking it was gonna be a person like my great grandparents, like one of the slaves.
There's only one.
I didn't get to meet.
There's only one great, so it's a great.
I know,
grand.
I get that. All right, now, I might pick.
I don't understand where the confusion came from.
Why are you being so testy with me?
I'm not. I laid out a question to you, and then you're asking questions.
Do you need a Snickers?
I'm good. I'm good. I just want to make sure that you understand the question that I.
All right,
that
you know what? I'm
gonna
say great grandparents still.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I never got a chance to meet my great grandfather, who the indecisiveness. All right, Matt. Okay,
thank you.
We don't need to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Co-sign. I would say my great grandparents because I never got to meet my great grandfather, Samuel Greenlee, because my grandmother was adopted.
Okay.
So I never got to meet her birth father.
All right.
So I would like to meet them. If there are any Greenlees from Virginia, I believe Richmond, please reach out to me so that I can talk to you and find out more about my great-grandfather. And fun fact, my great-grandfather is how I am related to Charles Drew.
Okay, cool.
So, your turn.
All right, I'm meeting grandchildren, okay? Because A, that means that that my lineage will continue.
Okay.
That means that I then pumped out some children or a child, and then they went on to continue with that legacy.
Okay.
And I want to know what the future has in store, and if they can give me some stock tips.
Well, okay, you get some stock tips from your great-grandkids, and let me know what they are so I can invest.
No, this is a private conversation between me and my grandchildren. You can hang out with you and your Greenlees, and I will hang out with my licorices or whatever their names are by the time, because it could be a different name. It could be a different name.
Wow.
There we go. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Meet the grandkids.
Where was all this conversation
Meet the
when
grandkids.
I was
Meet
asking?
the grandkids.
Okay.
Meet the grandkids.
All right, my turn to ask a question.
You're my man.
It's my turn to ask a question. You know, I feel like I'm being ganged up on.
My man, Matt.
Okay. What's your favorite name to see in your email inbox?
Oh my goodness. In my email?
Yeah.
Ugh, none of them. I hate email. Email is the worst mode of communication. First and foremost, I'm now on a notification list where work emails just start automatically being sent to me all night. So like when I clear out my emails at 9 o'clock at night, I have 0 emails. I wake up in the middle of the night, I have 42 emails automatically from Yopo. Okay. So that, you know, like all because like some dick in Des Moines has to ask a fucking question about some underwear in the middle of the fucking night. So sorry. But fine. I'll say the Barbados notification, the Barbados family notification emails, because those are run by my Aunt Linda. Shout out Aunt Linda.
Hi, Aunt Linda.
Yeah, those are some dope ass emails, I'll say, because they help me to, I guess, keep in touch with my Barbados side of the family.
It was Bayesian Independence Day recently. I think it was on Monday. So
yes.
Shout out to you. I think I would say my favorite ones are the ones that come from
have deals in them, right?
No,
like 2-for-1 dresses.
No.
BOGO!
That's not what I was going to say. First of all,
20% off if you buy immediately, right now. 10 minutes. 10-minute flash sale.
No. My favorite one is from my job telling me that my paycheck has been deposited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you know what? I changed mine. It's Just Works. Shout out to Just Works. Y'all deposit my checks on time, every time that I need them to be. So shout out to y'all.
So okay, that's it for the questions portion. Now we are going to jump in to our regularly scheduled programming. Mm-hmm. And just like every week, we usually come on here and we like to pay recognition to those who have passed on and become honorable ancestors so that we can, give them the flowers and the praise and the honor that they were due here on earth, and that putting it out into the universe that we still remember their names, just like in Coco. If you haven't watched the movie, please go watch it. That we just remember those who we've lost. So today, actually, or yesterday, Brad William Henke, which you would know, he was one of the security guards from Orange is the New Black. He was also a former football player. He played for the Giants and the 49ers, I believe, in the early 90s. Unfortunately, he passed away at 56, which is honestly, it's way too young. I hate hearing that people have left this world before what feels like their time. But on the time that he spent here, he brought joy and love and laughter to people's lives, and we're sending all of our love to his family.
If you're wondering which person he was on Orange is the New Black, he was in that one season where he was one of the asshole security guards that was brutalizing.
But he turned out he was gay, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
He had a gay love story.
I think so. I think there was something like that.
It was. You know what? The reason why he was so mean was because he had fallen in love at his previous prison as a what are they called again? Correctional officer.
Spoiler alert to anybody who's still watching Orange is the New Black.
Spoiler alert. He had fallen in love with the inmate. The inmate had done something dirty and caused him to get in trouble, which reason why he was transferred. And so that's why he had such a chip on his shoulder. But he played the role very well. And, he was, I think I never heard anything negative about him. He had been in a lot of different shows and movies and things in different parts. So it's just his career was really just getting off the ground. Well, not just getting off the ground, but he was getting a lot of momentum. So it's very sad that he's no longer here with us. And then also this week, earlier this week, Clarence Gilliard died at 66. He was in Die Hard. He was a black man from Die Hard, if you remember that movie. He was a computer hacker. And if you see him, you'll know that he was in a lot of different shows. Your grandmother probably watched him in Walker, Texas Ranger. And he had a 30-year career in Hollywood, which is amazing. So obviously lots of love to his family. And this last person touched me really deeply because Flashdance and Fame are two of top tier movies for me that I could watch all the time. But singer and actress Irene Cara passed away at 63. If you ever saw that movie Sparkle, she was one of the sisters in that movie, one of the lead sisters, and she did it so well. She sang the theme song from Fame. She just was kind of anything in music and TV. She really did a lot. She was definitely not a one-hit wonder. If anyone is confused, you may not have seen her in the front of the camera, but she was definitely behind the camera as dancer, choreographer, singer, producing, etc. And just, it's just sad because all these people, they weren't even 70 years old. And that always makes me sad because I just feel like they still had so much life to live. But again, we are always thankful for the life that people have given us and lived, and the love they've shown, and the honor that they get after they're passed, to know that they were here for a short time, but they still lived a great life and touched many people. And so we say thank you.
Thank you, and rest in power.
All right. Now, are you getting ready? Are you ready for the shenanigans?
Sure.
All right. So here's time for the pop culture segment. Okay. So first, before we talk about other things, we have some updates.
Yes.
One.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
Calm down. What is happening?
Fuck. All right.
What is going on right now? All right, we're just gonna continue.
Yeah, keep going.
So, today actually, it was announced that prosecutors have found a suspect in Takeoff's murder. The man's name is Patrick Xavier Clark. And he has been set on there. The prosecutors are asking for him to be set at a bail of $1 million. So we'll see what happens with that. I hope this man gets a fair and just trial, and that whoever is responsible for Takeoff's death faces the consequences that they should face.
You're gonna if I'm not gonna say that it was this person, if and when the individual who is responsible for Takeoff's untimely demise meets justice, they are going to, and if he is sentenced to jail time, I imagine that they're going to beat the ad libs out of him.
He's going to need to be in protective custody.
Yeah. Yes. He is going to need to be, because especially if it's in Atlanta.
Well, he was in Houston, so they probably wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Then. Yeah, you're right. But, hey, Southern people stick together. I mean, that whole Southern connection is... Migos
is just a nationwide, globally known art group. Takeoff was beloved by many.
Yeah.
So I think that regardless, there are going to be very many people, wherever this person goes, that's going to be upset about what they did, and we'll try to give them prison justice. I hope that they have. I don't think that you necessarily. I mean,
I know that that's not your thing, but
going to prison in itself.
I'm just saying
enough.
that those motherfuckers.
We know that they're going to.
There's going to be.
They're going to treat him the way that the way the inmates treated Michael Jordan's father's killer.
Yeah, that's exact. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Of all the references, that one was surprising to me.
It was a good reference.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm just saying that, of all of the celebrity
that's the one that
murders,
always sticks out the most.
Okay.
Well, in that vein.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Having love for someone.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, and in another update, last time we were here, we spoke about Shaquilla Robinson.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the 25-year-old who was killed or died in Mexico under very suspicious circumstances, and her family has been looking for something and trying to understand what's going on.
The friends lied, said that she had died of alcohol poisoning, but turned out that the friends had jumped her, brought her all the way down to Mexico just to beat the shit out of her.
Apparently, they also stole $10,000
and stole money from her.
The whole thing is
worse and worse.
The whole thing is terrible. But apparently, has been a arrest of Dejanay Jackson. Now, I've been seeing conflicting reports about whether or not she is actually arrested or if they're just still looking for her. But they said that the FBI Interpol had put out an alert for her. So, I mean, I think that it should not just be that one woman that was on the video. Anybody who was there and participating, they should all be brought to justice, because I don't know if we still have it on the books, but I know in New York there's a bystander law, whereas if someone's screaming out for help and being stabbed and you're not helping, you could also technically be charged.
Is that real? I thought that was just a Seinfeld thing.
No, because the reason that law came about was because there was a murder, I believe maybe it was the 70s or in the 80s. It was before I was born or I was very little.
Right.
Where this woman was on the street screaming for help, being stabbed in the bushes. Nobody helped her, and that was like I wouldn't say consequence of it was them creating this law. So
right.
We'll see what happens with that. We'll keep you updated. I mean, really, just need the family to get justice. And
yes.
The family needs to get the truth of what happened, to know what happened to their daughter, and to get justice for what happened to their daughter, because none of it was right or made any sense. And, you know, being taken away from your family so tragically, you can only imagine, you know, what they're going through.
Yes.
And now
prayers to the family in the hope that justice gets served.
Yes.
Yes.
So now we have some bullshit. Are you ready for the bullshit?
I am ready for the bullshit.
All right.
I've been ready since spaghetti for the bullshit.
Kanye West.
Lord, oh
That
Lord.
is the bullshit.
That's all you had to say was Kanye West, and then, like, you ever just, like, hear somebody's name and just, like, you get, like, a grunt of a noise because you're just so sick of the bullshit?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Kanye.
That's Kanye at this point. For
Kanye
a while, he used to be Ode.
Again. What did
All
I
you had to do is say that. It would just be like, ugh.
What did I do to you today that is causing you to be so spicy?
I'm not. I'm just being me.
Listeners, if you think he's being spicy, please comment. So anyway,
Yeah.
well, one, Kanye and what's her name?
Kim
Kardashian. Their
divorce has been
is
settled. Yeah.
which I really don't care about. He
Yeah.
has to pay $200,000 in child support.
200 racks.
Which, I mean,
for child support.
that it's going off about how much you make, so it doesn't matter how much the kids cost.
Which you would think would be less since he's not making but so much anymore.
He's
Like,
not a billionaire anymore. But
he's
he
no
still makes
longer
a
a
lot of money. He's a
billionaire.
millionaire.
Okay.
So that makes he's a high. He's not even like a
that child support
1 million,
is
2 million.
But
He's
that child
like
support
500 million.
is almost $250,000.
All right, their kids are expensive.
200,000.
It's almost
that's almost
their
$250,000.
children are children on the bare minimum. Even if you're making $50,000 a year, children are expensive. So
Yes.
then when you're making quadruple extra amount of that, so that means your children are in certain type of private schools, need a certain amount of security, need a certain amount of food, things like that. That's just how much you gotta pay.
This is why I specifically say that whenever I talk about like getting to that point in my life where I want a kid, I specifically say I would like a child. Okay, because like if anything goes wrong, and I'm not saying anything will go wrong, but if anything goes wrong and me and the child's parent are no longer to be, then at least the child support is not times 4. You know what I mean? It's not multiplied. Like there's no multiplier.
You're not
of
the Duggars.
children's. You know what I mean?
Because imagine if the Duggars split up. They have like 22 kids.
The Duggars?
Yeah.
Is that the black family?
No,
or the white
ew,
family?
No.
Which one is the black
Duggars-
family?
Oh man,
Because there's a black family
There
that's
is
on
a black
TLC.
family
Hey, listeners,
on
if y'all know the
TLC.
black family that's on TLC that has like 16 children and counting, if you know, like, because I have my laptop, but I'm not looking this bullshit
that
up.
one.
I'm not.
The Derricos, they have 14 babies.
I knew it started with a
They
D.
might have more at this point.
The Ricos.
But, you know, happy for them. But the Duggars have like 22, 23, 24, whatever kids. If they ever got divorced, it would probably be $1 million a year.
Well, some of those children have to be adults by now.
Well, the one is a child molester or a pedophile in some way.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Yeah. So never mind. One of the children or the parent?
A parent.
I thought the
One
parent,
of the
yeah.
kids. One of their kids, but who has been accused allegedly of I think it's Josh Duggar. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
it is.
it's Josh,
It
right?
is Josh.
Who
Duggar,
has?
yeah.
But he was found out with the child porn, but he's been accused of child of stuff from before.
Ah, that's funny. That's funny.
They might be trying to challenge the canons.
Oh my goodness.
They might be. But okay, so he has to pay the $200,000. But then
Yes.
this week, for whatever reason, he decided to join Alex Jones on InfoWars. My question is, how is Alex Jones, what is he doing? How is he able to still be on TV when he owes $1 billion plus, $1 billion plus dollars
And
to
the
the
answer,
families?
and literally the answer is he just filed for Chapter 11. So I just saw that on the news.
All right.
I saw that floating around on Twitter.
I heard that he was like trying to move money around so he wouldn't have to pay the family.
Well, of course he's moving money around. That's what anybody who has money does. Like try to weasel their way out of.
It's true.
Out of having to pay money.
But okay, when Kanye was on InfoWars, now some people were saying he was having a breakdown. I think he was just being Kanye.
No, we're way past
can't just-
Kanye West having breakdowns and stuff, because if I had a dollar for every time Kanye West had a breakdown, I would have as much money as Kanye West used to have before he went on his little anti-Semitic tirade, okay? Because it's just that many instances of quote unquote breaking down, being mentally ill, like mental illness, like not taking his medication or anything like that. We gotta stop blaming mental illness and breakdowns on this motherfucker's behavior. Yeah. He is a performer, he is a artist, but he is also a grown fucking adult human being, male man.
That's also true.
And he can take accountability for any of his antics and shenanigans and stuff. He should have taken accountability and responsibility when he went up there with that bottle of Hennessy and stole that girl's award and was just like, oh yeah, sorry Beyonce, I love me some Beyonce. Beyonce had the best album. He should have taken accountability when he was like saying, oh, Pete Davidson's fucking my wife, fuck him, and I hope he dies. Like, he's got to take accountability. He's
also alleging that Chris Paul fucked his wife. So
yeah,
Chris Paul is also married. So. And
Chris Paul is up here getting straight shots, like, and meanwhile, he's just minding his own business.
He is. But okay, so on InfoWars, Kanye said, I see good things about Hitler. Every human being has something of value they brought to the table, especially Hitler. And then he was talking about we got to stop dissing the Nazis. It was honestly, like,
It's bizarre behavior.
I don't think it's bizarre, actually. I think that Kanye does things to get the wrong white people on his side. He's done it for a long time. He started with it when he was talking about Harriet didn't free the slaves and y'all were just giving him a pass and thinking he was
Everybody was
so
giving him
smart.
a pass when he was like, oh, slavery was a choice.
He's going in depth and he's talking about slavery of the mind and slavery of
what
the
happened
body.
to free thinkers? What happened to people thinking freely and independent thought and stuff? Like, everybody was saying all that bullshit.
No, thank you. This is what you get. Because the thing is,
that's literally the slippery slope.
I don't believe that Kanye actually believes anything that he's saying. I just think that he's trying to get money somehow, some way, because he went to Trump and allegedly asked him to be his running mate.
This is what happens when you sniff Candace Owens' panties. You just start thinking that Nazis are cool. And I want that to just be something that I said.
That should be the episode of. That should be the title.
Sniffing Candace Owens' panties.
Sniffing Candace Owens. Put that down as a possible.
Because
I don't know what else is gonna.
Sniffing panties. I'll just
sniffing Candace Owens' panties. That has to be it. If it's not Candace Owens, I don't want it in the title. But that has to be a possible because that's the most ridiculous thing you've said thus far, and I don't know what could top it. I really don't.
Okay. But if there's another one,
we can change it.
We'll see.
All right. So, I mean, honestly, do you have anything else more that you want to say about this Kanye thing?
I absolutely don't. I have nothing else to say. How else do I top that sentence
you
that
don't.
I just said?
You don't. We can go towards one of Kanye's favorite brands, Balenciaga, because they have put themselves in some hot water over the last week or two because of a BDSM teddy bear photo shoot that they came up with. Don't know. Like, when I first saw the pictures, I was kind of confused. They're basically pictures of little kids, like toddlers, holding teddy bears in, like,
The teddy bears are in
leather
BDSM
harnesses.
But my question was: is it that is what is being sold the teddy bears, or is it they're coming out with a BDSM line of clothing that was on the teddy bears?
To be honest, I do not know.
I don't know, but either way, like it was bizarre to me.
Well, the one of the creative directors, his name is Demna Gazvalia. I hope I said that right. He has apologized because this was getting. When I first saw it, it came from Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Which for me is like, I barely pay anything he says attention. But when I saw it, I was like, all right, let me look at it and see if it's actually bad, because they think like they'll call drag shows or drag queens reading books to kids like obscene. So I had to see what it actually was.
Yeah.
And then I looked at it and I was like, okay, that's weird. And then everybody else was coming out with their apologies, and Kim Kardashian was like, I don't know if I want to be on them anymore. She's lying because she's still going to be wearing Balenciaga. But now the creative director, I believe he was for Balenciaga, has apologized. And he said, I want to personally apologize for the wrong artistic choice of my concept for the gifting campaign with the kids. And I take my responsibility. It was inappropriate to have kids promote objects that have nothing to do with them. And he went on and on to apologize. Now, this apology comes after earlier in the week when they were allegedly suing one of the their brand partners or brand houses or something that was promoting.
They were trying to pass the buck as far as blame is concerned.
The only person who should be apologizing are the people at Balenciaga, because I have worked on plenty of ad campaigns. Mm-hmm. Before it goes out, at the very least,
there's like an approval process. First off, there's a brainstorming process.
First of all, there's ideation. First of all, you pitch it.
You come up with some ideas.
You go through those. You go through concepts and storyboarding.
Yeah.
So you can't at what point in the storyboard did you just have a little stick figure as the person holding the harness teddy bear, or did you say, it'd be cool, kids? Yeah, somebody at some point had to say kids. Had to throw kids out there, and the room full of people. Nobody in that room during that idea said anything. They were just like, "Oh yeah, sure." Sounds like but it was what was also weird was allegedly in the photo shoot they had pictures of court documents that were allegedly talking about child pornography or
wait, what?
Being anti it. It was there was a lot of stuff on the page that didn't make any sense. I don't know if they were trying to make a statement, but whatever the statement was, it didn't work. I don't know about this. It was because people were zooming in on the documents that they had sprawled out on the page. Yeah. So people were seeing, they were just very confused. There was a lot of allegations. It was a lot of confusion. This is not they say no press is bad press, but that's not true. Not in the day of social media. You could definitely have bad press. It's not going to move you further. Now, personally, am I buying Balenciaga? No. If somebody would give me Balenciaga, I will surely take your $600 pair of pants. I wish I had the money to say actively say that I am going to, ban this from my household. The only brand I'm going to set this on fire. You know what I mean? I'll ban the Gap, but I'm still not going to set any of my Fashion Nova or my Shein. I have a few dresses from Shein, and I told you I wasn't going to buy it. That's an accurate amount. That is an inaccurate. That is too. A few is too few. I have a few. That's not. A few means more than 3, less than 7. And that's not true. First of all, you don't know my life. Number one, you don't know how many Shein dresses it's not accurate. I'm just saying, be accurate. Either way, aren't you a journalist? Shein has. Where's your journalistic integrity? Be accurate with all of these controversies. Citing your sources. Because they have allegedly there's lead in the clothes. There's slave labor, and I said I'm not going to buy from them anymore. But I still am not going to burn any of my clothes because I already purchased a thing. I'm going to just wear it until I can't wear it anymore. And then that's it. They got to wear it at least once. I'm never burning any of my clothes. Well, anything that I've purchased for myself, I would never destroy it just because I didn't like what the person was doing.
Right.
All I'm going to do is say I'm not buying this anymore and then move on. I mean, I cannot boycott Balenciaga because I was never purchasing Balenciaga. Now, if someone gives me a Balenciaga item, I will wear it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to wear it. I will not, because that would be a lie. He does keep coming for my wardrobe because he's being very spicy. The listeners agree. Okay, but now continuing on to more shenanigans.
Right, yeah. Where are we at now?
The shenanigans are really, like, I honestly, some of this could have been probably put in the our grinding section, but I mean, why
also,
not?
Also, we can also
do you think? Okay,
that.
Should I keep this one for grinding? I'm gonna keep this one. I'm moving this one.
Move that to the grinding.
That one's gonna go.
Yeah.
Now for the flavor of the week. Wait, no.
That's a new flavor of the week.
I'm gonna talk about this one last because it's honestly.
Is really?
I'm gonna talk about that one last.
That's what you want to save for last.
It's the most annoying one, and it might even move to grinding. To be honest.
Okay. I'm still listening. I'll be right back. I'm just going over here.
Okay. So one thing that we have to talk about, and we still have to really be diligent about, is Brittney Griner. Okay? She is still in Russia. She has been moved to a penal colony to do whatever slave labor that they have them doing there. And I was reading this article on SB Nation that was saying that she's doing, that she's being tortured in Russia, and they don't really say obviously what's happening, but I don't know if they just mean she's being tortured because of this going to the penal colony, and they know that it is extremely grueling work. One woman who had been in a penal colony before said they made her work 17 hours, no breaks. It was very tough. Yeah. Now, Brittney Griner... It
might as well be a fucking gulag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brittney Griner is a very, athletic woman. So, of course, we know that she can push her body. But does your athleticism move over to... Will that work for you if you are also then being malnourished, not having proper rest, not probably given any of the normal supplements, etc., and just physical activity that you're used to? I'm sure 17 hours. I mean, even if she would have been putting on 10 hours on the basketball court of practice,
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
There's a huge difference between pushing your body to its limit just so that you can perfect the perfect dunk versus pushing your body to the limit because your enforcers are making you turn big rocks into little rocks with a fucking a pinball hammer or whatever the fuck it is, I don't know exactly what the work is being done over there as far as the penal colony is concerned it's torture. It's just straight up torturous. And do we know how long her sentence is?
It's not. Well, now it's 9 years.
Shit.
That's 9 years.
That's
of
fucking
hard labor.
Grueling, back-breaking labor for 9 fucking years.
She's in one of Mordovia's penal colonies. Mm-hmm. They are a labor camp, but this article says that there's also torture and physical abuse, which is the norm. And as we have said before, it is not just plenty of people are well, she should have known better. She shouldn't have gone there with the little hash oil, et cetera, et cetera. But we could not escape the fact that her being a black woman, a lesbian woman, a masculine presenting lesbian woman, and an American, all of these things make it a target on her back.
Right.
So did she do something that was technically against rules? Even though she had a doctor's prescription for it, and if you go to another country and they might have rules against certain things, but if you have a doctor's prescription for something, I would say I would not have thought I shouldn't bring something if my doctor's prescribed it, and I've been coming here back and forth for years because the WNBA won't pay me a real living wage. So of course I am forced to go to these other places that she shouldn't have even been over there. And not because she shouldn't have been over there because she shouldn't have had weed. She shouldn't have even had to be over there because LeBron James, who I would say comparatively, they have the same sort of rise, same sort of star power, the same sort of winning record. I'm not great at sports, but I know that they're both great athletes. And he's making like 10 times the amount she's making. He would never have had to be in Russia. Mm-hmm. And I think that regardless of what you think about how she got over there or why she was over there and how she got caught, we need to be rallying behind her because no one should be going through that sort of horror. And anyone else who's over there, bring them back too. I mean, nobody should be a POW at this point. Like, that's, and everyone who's over there should come up. That is just basic, bottom line things. And that's it. I'm not going to rant anymore about Brittney Griner, but it definitely, has been making me very angry. Do you want to know who should be in the gulag?
Who?
Dallas Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Jerry. Oh, boy.
Fuck you, Jerry.
This old-ass white man.
Fuck you, Jerry. Look at his face. Look how terrible he looks. He looks like a monster.
There's a certain age that you hit as an old white man that, like, anytime I see you, I'm like, you used to say the N-word a lot, didn't you?
He looks like one of the monsters.
When you were 12 or 13 years old.
Well, we know he was saying
you were running around just...
We know he was saying it when he was 14 and he was trying to stop the black Arkansas students from getting in to the school building.
Yeah.
We know he was there saying nigger. Okay? And he's talking about, I was a jerk back then. No, sir.
That's what he said. He said I was a jerk?
Because people are...
Oh, boy.
We have talked about in the past about when you look at these different pictures of lynching.
Yeah, I say this all the time.
Of white supremacists trying to keep people out of things. That these pictures, they may look old because they're black and white, but really some of them, my mom was born even when she was little. So some of these people are still alive.
Yeah, like where the fuck are these people? Like That's my big thing. My big thing is, where are they? Like, because they didn't just all disappear. They're
fucking owning the Dallas Cowboys. That's where they are.
They're owning the Cowboys and living in Florida. Like, they're in Boca Raton, just over there making ginger snaps and practicing water aerobics and complaining that their nurse is stealing from them.
Well, interesting enough, this week, LeBron James was at one of his post-game scrums. Thank you. And
press conference.
And they were asking him about Kyrie Irving and the whole anti-Semitic video that we talked about a few weeks ago that Kyrie Irving has since apologized for and donated money to like ACLU and has been, at least on the outside, attempting to do the work to make amends.
Yeah.
And James is basically like, you keep asking me about Kyrie, but how come nobody's asked me about Jerry Jones? And
I mean, that's a really good point. Like, why is it that the okay? Let me be very careful with my wording because Lord knows I don't want to get in trouble and I don't want to get canceled. There should be the same energy that we had for Kyrie and Kanye. We need to have that same energy for old ass Jerry Jones.
Because nobody gets a pass.
Nobody should get a pass. And my thing is, Jerry Jones, that photo shows that he was there, like in the thick of it. Like he wasn't just like, it's just a picture of him just like saying the N-word or anything like that. No, he was on the front lines of like, those white people who were angry at integration. Like,
well,
am I wrong?
No, you're correct.
Like he was right there.
He was
like
literally
he wasn't there
standing...
just being a spectator, just like, oh, I'm just doing a report for school. Like, I'm just doing research.
He was spitting and throwing things and yelling and harassing and abusing students who were just trying to go to school.
He looked like he whipped batteries at motherfuckers.
I'm sure he was
in his heyday,
pouring acid in pools and shit. Mm-hmm. Well, Jerry Jones decided he would like to respond in a radio interview, and he said, First of all, you have to hear me say how much I think of LeBron. I don't know of anybody that I respect more. I don't know of anybody that's taken every opportunity he's had and maximized.
I don't think you should ever do this voice ever again. You can finish it out, but just know that after this, no more of this voice. None of this ever again.
Not only
I would cut this out of the podcast if I ever actually edited shit, but I don't.
Not only has he been a great ambassador for sport, he has taken sports, he has taken his venues and used those platforms. I want to be sure that you know where I'm coming from. It made buttons pop off my vest, so to speak, when he would talk about how much of a Cowboys fan he was. He would have made a great tight end. That doesn't change. There's nothing about any of that changes. Certainly, he has influence, and just because of all the above, his accomplishments, how he's utilized his sport, and how he's utilized his platform, we have done it. He has enhanced basketball. He's made a lot of people a lot of money. I hope I have too.
That was the worst quote I've ever heard, and I'm not talking about you doing that voice was. I'm talking about that quote had nothing to do with directly addressing that picture or that instance. All he had to do, at no point did he say, you know what, I did that shit and that was wrong. I'm sorry, and I fucked up. No, he was just like, LeBron speaks so well. That's all I heard. That is all I heard was that LeBron James, he makes money for people, and that's such a good thing.
And I hope I have to. I've made the niggers lots of money.
Yeah, and I'm
just like LeBron.
If you don't get the fuck out of here,
I was the whole time I was reading it. I was like, I can't wait till I finish it so I could see if he's gonna say that he never said anything about it.
Yeah, he ain't say shit. He didn't say shit about the photo.
He didn't.
He didn't even dance around it.
He did not care.
That is white privilege if I've ever heard of white privilege ever. Just like, hey, what about that photo? You know what? LeBron James is such a good guy.
He's made everybody money.
He's making money for people. I hope I made money for people.
But there have
burp, 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 burp.
I'm curious when we look back at the photo of Jerry Jones back then, and then you also look at the lack of black football head coaches and owners and other people in different authority figures in the NFL, and specifically on the Cowboys. Does it have something to do with that? Because you could like somebody to be running around for you and making you money, but that doesn't mean you want them to be making changes and all that.
Racism is a transferable skill. Let's just call it a thing. It's just like when you go from the military and then you go out into the working public sector, and you're just like, oh, I'm great at communications. It doesn't matter how many people. No, not okay. Go that way. I won't go that way. I won't go that way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter specifically what I did in the military. All that matters is that I was in the military and my skills transferred. Exactly. This motherfucker said the N-word a dozen times in the past, all over the fucking place, and he transferred those skills into owning black people on his team.
Well,
there you go. Look at that.
Fuck you, Jerry Jones.
Fuck you.
We hope you lose every game, but that your players still make a lot of money because they didn't have anything to do with you. All right, so more bullshit men, Tory Lanez trial. They're starting to get the jury selection. I want this to be over just because I don't want to hear anybody talk about it again.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of talking about it. And
not because of anything about Meg Thee Stallion. It's mostly because I hate all of the takes that people have about it. We're not going to say anything.
I'm not going to say anything, but definitely.
We're not going to say anything.
I'll just say relatively recently heard an older gentleman was like, "Oh, she lied. she lied about getting shot," and I'm just like,
and at this point, I don't argue with anybody that says I don't
want to. I was just like,
if you
heard me, I did not say a single goddamn thing
it was
after that.
Up.
I was just like, oh, jeez.
Because
what am I supposed to say?
I promptly changed the subject to something else. I don't know what it was, but something popped up there to move over. Because at this point, We all have the information in front of us. And
Is it Jasmine Sullivan who sings I Just Want It to Be Over? Or is that
no, that's Keisha Cole.
Keisha Cole, yeah. Call me Keisha Cole because I just want it to be over.
I don't want to have any more talk about this. I don't want anybody to pretend they're a doctor and know what fragments look like and all these different things.
Yeah.
I just want us to I want Meg to be victorious. I want Tory Lanez to take his ass back to Quebec or wherever he's from.
Yeah.
And just to leave us alone.
I keep forgetting that he's from Canada.
Deport
and
him.
He's shorter than me.
I think he might be shorter than me. He's a little troll doll, and that is not anything against anybody who's short. Clearly,
Although the comment of the person that made that comment makes sense because short people tend to stick together. So, just gonna put that out there.
I cannot.
They're not listening.
I hope not.
I know
the
not.
one time they decide to listen.
It would be funny if there was a text message waiting for me.
I hope that. And you want what? Because you've been so
Hey there.
so spicy with me this week, this day. I hope so.
To this day.
Okay, but that's all. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just wanted to let you know that was happening, so we could feel joyous in his demise.
All right, take a look at the time.
Yep, I can.
All right, I'm just saying, be mindful. That's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So, Will Smith has a new movie.
Yes, it's called Emancipation.
Emancipation.
Do you want me to comment on that?
No.
Good, because I didn't want to, and I won't.
So I honestly, and then this has nothing to do with Will. I have not personally watched or read much about this film, and that's only because, as we've talked about before, I'm currently having, black porn, specifically black slave.
Black trauma porn.
Black trauma porn.
You can't just say black porn.
Regular black porn is fine.
Yes, black porn.
We're happy
A-okay.
for you.
Shout out to you. I'm not naming names.
But black trauma porn, where whether it's about slavery or about a police shooting, or most recently even Till. Now, all these movies, I've heard a lot of great things about Till. I've heard that it's not actually, Till's not actually about necessarily the murder as much as it is about his mother and her story, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I would like to watch that. But I think that I'm putting it in the realm of like Fruitvale Station, where I know that's a beautiful movie. I know 12 Years a Slave is a beautiful movie, but can I watch that?
Yeah.
Is the thing. Like, I feel like white people and non-black people, yes, watch it because you need to know what's going on and you need to see things. And the same way we need to see, like, I don't need to, like, Japanese people don't need to watch any more movies about internment camps, but I would like to watch them so I can have some
just
sort of
so
glimpse.
that you could just so that you could be knowledgeable and
know and
understand
have something, like there's stories,
understand the story.
There are stories to be told.
I don't need to see it because it's baked in my DNA.
Yes, I have the epigenetics
as much
have
as
been
hair
passed
loss
down.
is baked in my DNA.
It's I don't need to see that. But I think that this movie, there have been Emancipation has gotten a lot of. I think I've read pretty good reviews from it. I haven't heard anyone say it was terrible.
Yeah,
it's a Will Smith movie. Curious about how his accent's gonna be, just because of the whole concussion movie with a terrible Nigerian accent.
Ever since he put on a Nigerian accent for the concussion,
it wasn't Nigerian. I don't know who he was. It sounded like your mixture of a Caribbean, African, Irish person.
Well, first off, I don't do those accents.
You do
public.
terribly in private, and I hear them, and they're terrible.
And I don't do it in private either.
You do too.
No, I don't.
How else would I know how terrible it is?
Because you're lying. This is a lie. You're a lying liar who lies all the time. Don't put that out in the public. Don't let people know that like I have a terrible Caribbean accent.
Sorry.
As much as I talk about Barbara. Look what's on my shirt right now. And you think people need to know that I have a terrible Caribbean accent?
A terrible Nigerian or general West African accent. You can't help what you can't help.
In West Nigeria, born and raised. On the compound is where I spent most of my days.
Oh gosh! Please don't start because you know they're Nollywood is listening in, and they're gonna make a Legos version of it's the Fresh Prince of Victoria Island.
Yes,
is gonna come out and it's gonna be terrible.
Yes.
But I would watch it. Yeah. But that's happening. Go see the movie. Tell us what you think because I personally I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. I might watch it when it comes on streaming. Give it some plays, and then that way I could be in my own space. I don't have to be because watching a movie like that and being outside is like a lot. Like when I watched Get Out in the movie theaters, I saw that BAM the first time. It was a lot of white people.
Yeah,
and I was stressed out, and I was just looking at them like, you are laughing a little too hard.
Yeah, I definitely saw it with my. Who did I see it with? I saw it twice. Once by myself and once with somebody.
I saw it twice too.
Yeah, once with somebody who I shouldn't have gone with, and I just definitely remembered looking over at them, just being like, "You should not be laughing as hard as clearly this person are white." And I was just like, "You're laughing a little bit too hard at this," and I was just like, I knew the one part is where she's holding the keys and she's like, looking for the keys. Is like, I can't give you these. I was just like, I knew it.
Of course.
And then they looked at me and I was just like, I did know it.
So you felt like someone should get out. Yes. Very good. That was a good one. Yeah,
agreed. Yo, you've been coming in clutch with all of these.
I love when the listeners are actually interacting with us while we're talking.
Shout out to you. Like, because you've been coming in clutch with all these comments, all right?
All right, are we done with emancipation? Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
I was gonna say that.
Oh, it's Matthias.
Yeah, Matthias. Matthias does it. And you do it. And you do it. All
right. So now I'm gonna say this is my final thing before we get out.
Yes. Before we get out.
But before we switch over to our next section.
Yes.
So as a journalist, I
not at you being a journalist. I'm laughing at because I know what the story that you're talking about is, and I'm
maybe
just like,
I have better timing.
Is this considered journalism?
As a journalist, I would love to say that I love when journalists are in the news for things. Because the whole thing about being a journalist is that you should never be the story.
Yes.
Like, you are supposed to be out of it. No one's talking about it. But, baby, the Real Housewives of the Associated Press are coming out.
Okay.
The Associated Press is on.
No, I know who the Associated Press is.
I'm just giving background.
Thank you.
So, Good Morning America co-anchors Amy Robach and TJ Holmes, who I used to think was a zaddy. He's still pretty cute, but
yeah, he's still handsome.
He's still handsome.
He didn't stop being handsome because of the story.
Being handsome, but the situation has clouded my feelings for him. He is currently they are currently in an entanglement, allegedly, because apparently his wife or someone, we don't know who it is, somebody hired a private investigator to look into them because they thought that their relationship was a little bit too close, like next. And Amy Robach, I can't think about this right now.
Okay, that's cool.
So
we're recording now.
Amy Robach and TJ Holmes have been Good Morning America anchors for some time. And if you go to their TikTok, go to Good Morning America's TikTok, you will see that they have a lot of flirty energy. They were running together, and at one point she's like, oh, I set the pace and you just run behind. He was like, oh, I'm happy to do that. And then another episode about this, one of the doctors came on, was talking about how hugs are good for cortisol. And he was like, oh, you're going to have to tell Amy about that tomorrow. It's a lot of shady things when you start to look at
They're really close.
When you start to look at what's been going on, and it's just like, you just made this whole stupid post about your superpowered black woman, But you messing around with Becky with the good hair.
Well, no, he literally just said that he gave her reasons to leave.
He did.
That's all he's doing.
He said that.
He's just giving her reasons to leave. That's all he's doing right now.
On Twitter today.
He's still giving her reasons to leave. He's like, look, this is what I've been doing for 10 years. You think that's going to stop?
On Twitter today, somebody said, sometimes you'll read a status from a dude and you'll think he's talking about a used car when in actuality it's his wife. And it's so fucking true. It's always, oh, well, you know, she's beaten up and she don't got much. She got 100,000 miles on her, but I'm going to stick around. I'm going to keep her. And you're like, oh, I love you, wife. Like, happy birthday. And it's like, wait, what? That was not a heartfelt, beautiful message. That sounded like you're just having me because I'm still here and you don't want to take out a new car note.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, now TJ Holmes is an attractive man. His wife is a beautiful woman. This woman is conventionally attractive and her husband is an attractive man. I don't think that it is impossible that the two of them working long hours together, all that stuff, something could have happened. But I do feel like people, if you have a desire to step outside of your relationship in whatever way that is, have the courage and the decency to
wear a condom.
Well, yes, of course.
Yes.
Stay strapped up and be safe.
Yes, please be strapped up.
Like, just talk to your partner. Maybe go to a couples therapy session and say, I am having these thoughts. Can we talk about them? Can we see if we can incorporate
For a
this
minute
into our relationship? And then if not, like, how can we move forward in a way that's going to make sense for both of us? Versus they have pictures of them at a bar hugging up on each other. There's another picture, he's patting her butt while she's taking the stuff out the car. They're holding hands while they're driving. Like, all of these are inappropriate things that you should not be doing while you are married to another person. And the fact that you have the unmitigated gall to do this while you're in broad daylight, you're not even sneaking in the shadows, just tells me you have no respect for your wife. And that is what makes me feel less attracted to him.
Unless you're in an open relationship.
That's what I'm saying. That's a totally different thing. If you are in an open relationship,
all of this could just be that, like, he's in. It'd be funny if they were both in an open relationship. The problem is that, like, the rules of the open relationship is just like nobody that I know. You know what I mean?
I think that also,
and they may have broken the rule by getting with each other. They spend day in and day out with each other. Of course, there's going to be something that might happen.
Being in an open relationship is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Being close to somebody and all that, like, things might happen. But I think that if you're going to do that, you have to be very well aware that you are in a very public facing...
Shout out to Not Toyin'. Hello.
You are in a very public facing profession.
Talking about Good Morning America, the hosts have potentially
been
fucking.
boinking each other.
They've been fucking. Boinking?
What?
You've been watching too much 30 Rock. That is exactly some 30 Rock nomenclature right there.
Watch it. But I feel like you could have done this secretly. Shout out to you, Rollo.
Shout out to you, Rollo.
You should have some more decorum to not allow yourself to be caught out here. It is not difficult for y'all to get separate apartment or separate rooms at a hotel, go in a dark corner of a nobody ever goes there restaurant. Order Uber Eats. You don't need it. If you're gonna go out for dinner, make it a work dinner. Stop touching each other and caressing each other and looking all cute next to each other and falling. We have so much chemistry. Stop it, because you're both married. Her husband took all her pictures down off his Instagram. I haven't been to TJ Holmes' wife's page, but I bet you she's been like, listen, I'm sitting quiet and I'm getting ready to collect my alimony checks. Because it doesn't matter what they might have had as what's it called, a conversation. You're not about to embarrass me in front of the whole world. Right. That's number one. You're not going to embarrass me. It doesn't matter if we talked about this privately and I've known about it for years. you're not going to embarrass me in front of my friends, family, and all of America.
Okay.
Because now everyone's going to be looking at her, talking about, oh, look at her. She's been cheating on. Look at Nia Long. The fucking Nia Long. And you should watch, if y'all go on TikTok, please go and look at the video of TJ Holmes talking about Ime Udoka cheating on Nia Long. And look at how he's just stutter like Joe. Go look it up. Because he just knew his time was next. And I think that everyone out there, if you guys are cheating, if you're doing things dirty, remember that anything that happens in the dark comes out in the light. And you never know when that's going to happen. So keep your hands clean.
Or just hide better. Like, or just cheat
keep
better.
Your hands clean.
Cheat. You literally just said, like, y'all could have been in the dark, go to, like, separate. You're also saying that they should cheat better. Cheat better.
I think that they
or
should,
don't cheat. If you're going to cheat. And this goes to people that I know too. Like, if you're going to cheat better. Cheat in a way where you can't get found out.
Be courageous. Talk to your partner.
Yes, be courageous.
Say, I want us to be in an open relationship. Can we do that? If not, then say, you know what? Maybe we should find people who we can have open relationships with, and you will be better for it. Because why would you set yourself up to be publicly embarrassed?
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing with me.
And on that note, we will be, for legal reasons, this is a joke. We will be right back.
Yes, we will be right back.
Stay tuned. We have to we're about to get cut off, and so we gotta restart this whole thing so that we can come back to you with the mental health segment, what's grinding our gears, and what's making us happy this week.
All right, we will be back with more of the Black and Sturdy podcast.
You're listening to the Black and Snurdy Podcast.
We now return to the Black and Snurdy podcast.
You want to take the shot now?
Yes.
All right, cheers.
Be nice. Whew. Whew.
Baby, whew. Hold on. Check. Baby girl, you're so damn fine, yeah. Wanna know if I can hit it from behind, yeah. I'm sipping on you like some fine wine, though. When it's over, I press rewind, though. Talking brands, I got it. Benjamin's in my pocket. Attracted my tune, so I'm robbing. Then he playing Batman. Fetty got him. I got the clock on my hand. 17 shots, no 38. Yeah, I got the clock in my hand. 17 shots, no 30, yeah, she fine. Wondering when she'll be mine. Walking past her, rewind. So that's one more time. And I got this soda. Baby boys, they know us. All fast money, no old bucks. No one control us. No one. And I got this soda. Baby boys, they know us. All ass money, no slow bucks. No one can control us. Okay.
I'm going to say
there's a person who does the cover of this, so I didn't want to do the Fetty Wap version.
I did not know there was not a Fetty Wap version, and I did not know that was the name of the song.
Yeah. It's called it's actually called 679 and No Diggity.
Oh,
because
No Diggity.
Because he mashes up with No Diggity. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And it's really good. It's really, really fun. Yeah.
So we are back. Oh, Matt, you joined us.
Hey, welcome back, Matt. Follow us to the next one. Ain't that some shit?
Oh, okay. This is
what?
Nothing. I'm just looking at you.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. I'm trying to.
Are you getting into the live?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to live. That's what's taken me so long.
Are you ready for the question?
Yes. What is the question for our mental health section?
Because
every week, we as mental health advocates, not experts, we check in with each other to see how we're doing mental health wise, and we always start with a question.
So, what song immediately makes you happy?
Oh, that's easy. The song that I've been going to sleep to for all these years: cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash out, cash out, cash out, cash out. Riding the devil no thief.
Ooh.
Riding the devil no thief.
Oh.
Riding the devil no thief. No these. One of these days I'm gonna learn how to sing it. Gonna remember how to do all of the lyrics to the song. I'm just doing this now, and then it go kapow. Okay, anyhow, but no, yeah, kapow. I like it. Wait, why would you do that?
Because that's what I did last time.
What? But why did you just send a request for me to add?
I don't want to add you. I just want to be all right. I want to do. What? I don't want to do that. I want to make you a.
And
I want to make you
no, let's not do that right now. Stop it. What are you doing?
That's usually what I do every week. We have a new setup. This is new to me. I'm confused.
Blacken accepted your request to join? Why would you do that? Oh my goodness. See,
Well, you shouldn't even have it.
why would you do that?
You should not have it the volume up.
We don't do this at all. We never do this.
Oh.
I'm going to end it. No, what do you mean, oh? Have we ever done it this way? Matt, let her know that this is the worst thing that could possibly happen.
All right, fine. Just cancel it out.
I am canceling it out. Oh my God. And
Well, you're the one just still in there. You could have canceled it out.
Oh my
ages
God.
ago.
That was ridiculous. Why would you do that?
Because we've done that before.
We did that one time.
No, I add you. I add you to the thing.
And now I can't get back in there unless
you can get back in. It's gonna.
No, it's
fine.
saying that we're both on.
Well, what do you want me to do?
My God.
All right, fine.
I want you to not fuck around with the stuff.
We have no requests. Listen, it's gonna be fine.
Oh my God.
Matt's still here. He said he loves the chaos. So clearly,
Matt,
people love it.
Matt, don't encourage her.
Encourage me.
And now I can't see it on my phone. Yeah, there we go.
It's gone.
There
gone.
we go. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you.
All right, now we'll click back into it.
All right, there we go.
All right, are you okay? Are you fine?
This is so much better now. Jesus.
But there is a thing I do when I add you.
No, there isn't. Anyhow, all you do is just push record. Now, what is this question again? What's the song that makes you feel happy whenever you hear it and shit?
This is very easy. The Baby Merchant.
Yeah, I'm the
Baby Merchant. Tots are us. I'll give you
our service.
and
No damn fuss.
Give a Baby Merchant just a week or two.
I'll have your baby for you. Oh, man.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
I can't wait to hear it.
Tell us what your favorite song is.
What is your favorite song that immediately makes you happy? That's the question.
That is the question that has been posed.
All right. So, do you want to talk about our news story first, or do you want to talk about our mental health first?
Let's do the news story.
The news story. Are you sure?
Yeah, let's do the news story.
I feel like I would have rather us do the.
Then why did you ask? Why would you ask me?
I thought about it midway in. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay.
Such a lackluster.
I'm in my blue period right now, okay? So right now, like I'm going through some shit. Thanksgiving was fun, but it was exhausting. It took a lot out of me.
It was a lot.
And now I'm in like a low powered recovery mode right now.
Yes.
Okay? So like I'm doing all the things that I need to do in order to, like, I'm taking my medication, like I went to the doctors at the beginning of the week. I'm checking in with myself mentally and like, you know, and I'm doing a lot of resting, okay? I know there's like, oh, you're not supposed to, but no, like I'm giving myself
is good.
I'm giving myself the time and the space to just like rebound from such a long week. Okay.
I think there's nothing wrong, like I told you the other day, with resting and taking the week for yourself. Because last week was a lot of action.
Yes, it was.
A lot of movement. It was a lot of traveling. So it's okay to just
Too much traveling. I would
just relax and just kind of melt your way into the week.
How are you doing?
I feel like I'm doing pretty well. I mean, I haven't had any, like, my anxiety has been pretty good. The other day I was talking to my stepmom and I had just finished therapy and she was like, "Why are you in therapy? What's wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing. I just go there every week." Are we recording?
Yeah, we are.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the stream.
It says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa."
Okay, I'm just looking at the stream.
Matt, why are you whoa, whoa, whoaing us? Do you have a mental health question?
No, I'm sure he's.
you have to
I'm
say
sure
what
he's
to
doing
say?
fine.
But great way to treat our listeners.
No, I'm just saying that if he's sticking it out with us for the very
Thank you for
end,
sticking it
which
out
I
with
do
us.
appreciate.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate you being here. All right,
You
so,
added something to the episode.
Yeah, it's like there's 3 people on this thing.
No, I feel like I'm doing my best. I'm doing the best with what I got, as Mariah says. And that's all I can do. I think that, like, there's always things that there's always things that I'm working on myself. I strive to be a better me every day, in however way that works. And I think that
I don't agree. I don't agree that chaos is good.
I didn't say it was good. He said, I thought it said love the chaos. It said LMAO.
No.
But you were laughing at the chaos, which means there's a bit of enjoyment happening.
Nobody's appreciating of the chaos. Nobody appreciates chaos. Oh, and yes, the therapy. We all agree that we're all in agreement that therapy is good.
Therapy's great. I honestly, if I could make some sort of, like, change to our society, it would be
For once in your life?
For once in my life. Yes.
It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right.
God. All right. Number 1. Are you done? I know. This has been 3 times now. It's the rule of 3s. You've done it.
Okay.
So, number 1, there would be a therapist, more than one therapist in every school from the ages of kindergarten up. And there would be a therapist in your workplace, regardless of what your workplace is. And it would be mandatory.
That is a good idea to have,
them.
like, a workplace therapist.
I think it should be mandatory to see them.
Like, every big corporation should have
all of the corporations
should have, like, a fleet of therapists the same way that they have a fleet of lawyers.
I have worked for big, medium, and small companies, and all of them were in some way dysfunctional, and all of them needed therapy. Especially the smaller the company, the more therapy is needed, because you have to deal so closely with the folks.
Yeah, so make that happen, corporations.
That's what I want.
In-house therapists.
In-house therapists for work, for school, because, like, you don't need therapy only when something major has happened in your life. And even in that major thing, you don't even have to have something drastic happen.
First off, the guidance counselor was not the therapist.
Yeah, my guidance counselor.
We're talking about somebody who would be taken seriously and whose opinions would actually matter, whose job was actually important, and who actually left a lasting impression on the people that they care for. Not a guidance counselor.
It all depends on your guidance counselor, because
I don't think so.
My mom was a guidance counselor, and there are some of her students who still are talk to her, or she was like.
So you just play the mom card.
Well, she was a guidance counselor.
What am I supposed to say
in college? And she was she actually was helping. She's also a social worker.
Yeah, okay.
So she was helping, let me figure out how to help you, etc. one of my aunts was one of her former students, and they just became like after she graduated, they became friends, etc. But my guidance counselor, how could I trust her to guide me through college when she couldn't even handle her own kids who were in the school with us?
Well, I mean, first off, that's where they fucked up. The kids shouldn't be going to the same school.
She literally had, but it's like usually if your mom works at the school, your parent works at the school, like, you know, that they'd be like, oh, you don't want to mess up because so-and-so's parent works here.
Oh, no, I think I messed up because my mom worked at my middle school. Like, she was like a volunteer, and all of a sudden, like, once she started working there, all of a sudden I used to get detentions every weekend.
But a volunteer is
having
different.
to get up and go to detentions because I wasn't turning in my homework on time. It wasn't like I was acting out or acting up. I just wasn't turning in homework.
But a volunteer,
if you miss 2 homeworks,
you would have to go to detention.
Immediately go to Saturday detention.
A volunteer PTA mom is different than like the person who's being paid to guide you through college applications, through all these things. And I mean, she was a lovely woman, but she was getting just... We were bulldozing over her. I would be like, why do I know more about things than you know? Mm-hmm. Like, it just, that part didn't make any sense. So my guidance counselor would have been literally zero help to me during school.
Yeah.
But having legitimate, multiple actual clinical therapists and possibly psychiatrists to be at a school to help you, because in whatever school you're in, you're constantly dealing with so much stuff in school, let alone what might be happening at home. And I think that would just be helpful. Plus at work, because you're very stressed out, there's a lot of things you're doing, you're handling big budgets. I think that would be important. So that would be something that I would do because I feel like it is needed and wanted in this world. But overall this week, I would say that my mental health has been pretty good. Even though, you know, my hormones are everywhere, I feel like I have not bursted out in tears.
That's not true. Not tears, not literal tears, but.
Well, I was crying at the Deion Cole one we watched.
Yeah.
But it was sad.
Yeah.
He was talking about his mom who passed. That was very moving. But otherwise, I think I've been pretty even keel.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
First of all,
we have to think highly of ourselves. That's a part of mental health, and that's a part of therapy. We should all think very highly of ourselves, regardless of what the reality is.
Not pat me, okay? Or I will need a therapist for the feeling guilt over strangling you.
That was such a long way to get there. That was such an arduous way to go, just to say, I'm going to commit violence on you.
I want to commit violence to you right now.
I know, but you won't, and it's fine.
If I could, and it wouldn't be videotaped for the world to see, I would.
Yeah, well, Matthias wouldn't allow that to happen.
He's not here.
Yeah, but he's here in spirit.
No, I'm going to save it for later. No, I was going to say because we're kind of near each other.
What do you mean?
He lives near.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
But I'm not going to give out locations.
Yeah, obviously, nobody should be giving out any locations.
Anyway, now, are you ready to get into the news story?
Yes, I'm ready to get into the news story. Let's go. Chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop. Chop cheese. Chop cheese.
You would be considered an accessory. So, our least favorite mayor, Eric Adams, has decided to roll back the times to like the 1930s when you could just be committed for any old thing. He wants to forcibly put people in mental health institutions. He wants to forcibly institutionalize people.
What kind of people?
It's what people who appear to be mentally ill or like mental violent and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But you cannot know whether someone on the street is necessarily mentally ill. Now, sometimes you might see somebody talking to themselves or being erratic, et cetera, et cetera. But the idea of forcibly putting people in institutions is something that we know from the precedent does not go well. For instance, did you know John F. Kennedy's father forced his sister to be in an institution?
Yeah.
And they lobotomized her.
They lobotomized her.
And the reason for her lobotomy was not that she was like a serial killer. She had a mouth on her. Yeah. She liked to talk too much. She said, I don't care what you want me to do.
She was a mouthy dame.
I'm not about to be whatever prim and proper woman you want.
Yeah.
And fuck you. And then they cut a piece of her brain out so she wouldn't talk anymore. Snip. Do you know how many, like, there are so many, and this is specifically women, not even talking about black women or any other women of color, who were put into institutions just for having like hysteria or like even something as masturbating, like talking back, being sleepy, being angry, just having actual emotions could get you put in jail or put into an institution for however long. And this, like, I do agree that if someone is a possible harm to themselves or others, and they need to get mental health help, then we need to be providing that for them. But forcing someone into an institution is not the way to go, especially because we know how carceral these institutions are. Like, mental health is great, but a lot of the times you go into these institutions and they're basically like little prisons. They don't get people that actually care about the people who are in there. They get people who are bodies to make sure that they can have enough, meet whatever quota and get whatever money from the state. So this is a terrible idea by your terrible mayor, who unfortunately is going to be overseeing New York City for the next, I guess, 2.5 more years. And I'm pretty pissed off about it.
Okay.
Is that it? That's all you got? Okay.
Yeah, I don't
you
really...
have no other thoughts about this besides, okay?
Not really. Like, the way that you presented this made it seem like he was, going on the streets and locking homeless people up in mental institutions.
I mean, he can.
Like, is that what's gonna happen?
He can do that if you're sick.
Like, has he started doing this, or is this being proposed?
He only just announced that this was going to be happening. So at any point, if they want to start rounding homeless unhoused people up, they could do that. Do you want to know why? You go to Times Square right now. Mm-hmm. Times Square, people think it's like clean and prospectively.
Yeah.
When I was younger, when it was Giuliani, he closed all of the mental health institutions. He defunded so many of any of the mental health advocacy groups and places and homes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And so you had people living on the street. Do you want to know what he did with them when he was cleaning up the city? He just took them from Times Square and pushed them up to the Bronx or the Harlem, et cetera. There has never been an adequate mental health space in New York City, because like where I grew up in Long Island, there was a institution, and is Bellevue
a place, or is that just something
Bellevue's
that I've...
a place?
Okay,
but it's a hospital in the city.
Okay.
But in Long Island, there was it just flew out of my head. And those stories that you hear from them from that place were terrible.
Yeah.
So many of the people there were abused. Families just left them there. They were just kind of left to their own devices, and it did not go well. Mm-hmm. Pilgrim State, there it is. Pilgrim State is one of them. Mm-hmm. Which was terrible. And the stories you hear from there is how much abuse was happening towards those the people who were institutionalized, because both our prisons and our mental institutions are not places for people to be rehabilitated and to come out and be better, productive members of society. They are just there to punish them. And even if you think someone with mental illness, they shouldn't be punished. No, they shouldn't. But that's what they do. They're just punishing them. They're drugging them up. they're abusing them, and they're treating them poorly because they don't see them as having equal right in our society. So if you want to actually help people who are mentally ill and living on the street, then you would give money to the many nonprofits and organizations who have picked people up off the street, give them a place to eat, work on their mental health with them, get them medicated if need be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But just taking someone off the street, putting them in an institution and drugging them up is not actually helpful. Because what happens when you need to close that place down? Where do they go? Because the money's not going to be there forever. We were just talking with your dad about that, about like a government program.
Right.
You could have a government program that sounds great.
Yeah.
But you never know when the money for that program is going to be finished. And you want to know what happens? They come back out on the street, and then they're just living their lives on the street, unmedicated and also unrehabilitated because they never learned any sort of coping mechanisms along with the medication to help them live a safe, productive life with the rest of us. And so this is a terrible idea. We have precedent in history that shows why this is a terrible idea, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Okay.
So, again, fuck you, Eric Adams. You're a terrible mayor, and I can't wait to vote you out. Hopefully, we have a better candidate the next time, and we won't have to deal with 4 more years of this bullshit.
Agreed.
But listeners, let us know what you think. You know, do you think that people should be rounded up off the streets due to their mental health status? Because how do we know that one person's bad day isn't going to turn into 10 years in an institution? And really, what would be the difference of that and prison? Because you can't leave if you're remanded to a place. You got to stay there. So that's it. That's what I thought. I hate it. And we got to do something different. So now we're going to the other place where we can talk about all the things we hate.
Bringing it. What we griping. We're not griping anywhere else. We griping. This safe space for us to share. We gripe here. We ain't griping anywhere else. We gripe here.
So what's griping? What's your gripes? I went first. You forced me to go first.
I went
You were
longer
like,
last
you were
time.
like, do you want to go like talk about Eric Adams or do you want to talk about your day? And I was like, let's talk about Eric Adams. You're like, actually, I want you to talk about your mental health. And I was like, all right, I'll go first.
Okay, but I talked last, so I think you should.
No,
go first.
yeah, you talked last, so you should talk first this time. There you go. Keep that conga line of comments going.
Gosh, you're just
Yeah.
a heavy sigh sometimes.
You're the definition of a heavy sigh.
You're the definition of a heavy sigh.
You're the definition.
You
are the definition of
a heavy sigh.
A heavy sigh and an eye roll. Like you're a heavy sigh and an eye roll and a face palm.
You're a heavy sigh. You're
And
a face palm. You're an eye roll, and you're one of these.
Yeah. You're like I give up. You're the definition of
all
like,
of the above. So
throwing your hands up in the air and just getting like, ugh. I give. Anyhow, you go.
All right. So this is something that made me annoyed this week. Okay, number 1. I love being able to go to family gatherings. I love it. I think that it's important to spend time with the people in your family because you honestly never know when the last time will be. But I do not enjoy lack of communication.
That we can agree on. Absolutely.
I do not enjoy disorganization.
Agreed.
And it makes it even harder if it makes it harder in certain situations because you can't say, I can't say anything. I just have to be here and just be annoyed. And I hate that. Like, communicate things in a timely manner, in an accurate manner, because I'm going to follow what you tell me. If you tell me to get somewhere at 9 a.m., I'm going to be there at 9 a.m. I might even be there early. But I want to make sure that I'm not inconveniencing anyone else, even if I may possibly be inconveniencing myself. And so that, number one. What is it with venues not having the appropriate, like, if it's raining, and this is not anything about the person hiring the venue. This is about the venue. If it's raining, y'all should make sure you have a contingency plan and not have people sitting out in the rain. Because you are the venue that people are paying money to. Make sure people aren't sitting out in the rain. I feel like that's like the barest of minimums.
People getting dressed up really nicely, and now their crowns are getting wet and damp because there's rain on the field, rain on the play.
Everybody has an umbrella. What are these people paying you for?
Is that your aunt?
It's Auntie Debbie.
Oh, hi. Hey.
Make sure people have what they need.
No more. Not even there anymore.
Left. She doesn't really use
so much.
Instagram.
Yeah, well.
No, there's 3 people. She's back.
Oh, okay, here we go. Yay. Hey, what's up?
Like just those little tiny things. Because you can have a beautiful space that I'm sure people are paying the big bucks for. If you can't afford to get umbrellas to be with you at that venue, then why are you in business? Because that's a problem.
Yes.
Why don't you have tents? Why don't you have space heaters? Especially if you're allowing people to do...
Yeah.
If you're allowing people to use your venue all year round, we don't live in Texas. We don't live in Miami.
Yeah, you should...
And even in Miami, you would need something for rain.
You should be properly prepared for rain, for any sort of weather. Yeah, because that was some BS.
That was... I woke up on Monday with the head... I was thinking, why am I sniffling? Why do I have a head cold? Why is my head not hurting a little bit? Because I'm sitting out here in the rain. Now, once things got started, it was, of course, a beautiful, love it. I can't even be annoyed anymore. It was amazing. But still.
Yeah.
Venues, do what you guys got to do and be better. Because people are paying you to have a beautiful experience for themselves and their guests, and they don't appreciate being rained on. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2. White people. Specifically, British white people. This is specifically British ones. And specifically to a specific British white lady, Lady Susan Hussey, or Hussey, whatever, however you say her name. But this last week, a black woman who owns a nonprofit, her name is Ngozi Fulani. She was at an event. I believe she was at Buckingham Palace for an event, and Lady Hussey came up to her and was asking her some questions about herself. And I'm just gonna read you like a little bit of the exchange. Lady Hussey, where are you from? Ngozi, Sister Space, no. Where do you come from? Well, we're based in Hackney. No, what part of Africa are you from? I don't know. They didn't leave any records. Hilarious. Well, you must know where you're from. I spent time in France. Where are you from? Here, UK. No, but what nationality are you? I am born here and am British. No, but where do you really come from? Where do your people come from? My people, lady? What is this? Oh, I can see I'm going to have a challenge getting you to say where you're from. When did you first come here? Lady, I am a British national. My parents came here in the 50s when, oh, I knew you'd get there in the end. You're Caribbean. No, lady. I am of African heritage, Caribbean descent, and British nationality. Oh, so you're from... ...
Why is this conversation still going on after the first two questions? Like, I would have walked away. Like, why is this happening? Like, this isn't a conversation to be had in 2022, whatever year it is right now. Like, that's something that happened in like the 80s and the 90s, and it goes back to me saying earlier where Jerry Jones. That's a Jerry Jones style conversation. Like, oh, you speak so well. Where are you from? Where are your people from? But if you don't get out of here, get out of my face.
White people across the world. At least I know white people in the US, and white people in the UK. I don't know about all the other European countries. They do behave like this, asking you stupid questions. Whether you're black, brown, yellow, they're always asking you where you're from and surprised when you say that I'm from here. Like, what else would you want me to say? Like, I'm born literally down the block. I don't know what you want me to say to you, but like, are you asking for my ancestry.com? I could tell you that. I don't know all the percentages, but it's hilarious what you said that they didn't keep any records, because I would have definitely cackled at that. But Lady Hussey, she is a royal courtier who works for Queen Consort side chick Camilla. And she used to serve for Queen Elizabeth, but she resigned from her post after Ngozi posted this on her social media. And special addition on that, she is also Prince William's godmother. So if there was any confusion about who asked about how dark Archie was going to be, I'm just saying, the arrows keep pointing towards him. They keep pointing towards him. It was either him or his father. Those are the only two people. I think it was either him or his father. I don't think that the queen would have asked such a dumb question, because she would have been like, I mean, what do you mean? Like, look at her, look at him. It's going to be like a light-skinned...
Hey, Cass, how you doing? I hope I said that correctly.
But just so you know, Fulani works as the head of a nonprofit in the UK for domestic violence survivors of color, and she was in the attendance to raise awareness for violence against women. And then she looks like
curdled milk. She looks like curdled milk. That's exactly what she looks like. You're not looking at the photo that I'm looking at.
I wish you could see the picture. I wish you could see how terrible she looks. Like, she looks like... You know what she looks like?
What she looks like?
You remember the movie The Witches with Angelica Houston?
No, I don't remember The Witches with Angelica Houston.
It's the one where they turn the boy into the mouse and they're trying to...
No, I don't remember.
Well, fine. If
I've never seen this movie, saying the plot to me doesn't help me remember a movie I've never seen.
Witches, either the current one or the reboot. She looks like the witches when they take off their human faces.
Yeah. Definitely does. Definitely does.
Sunken in.
Her
and
face
red and protruding nose.
Her face is the sunken place. Like, it looks like it's slowly morphing inward as she continues to get older.
Well, I would say...
Oh, well, like...
Everybody, whether you're British, American, wherever you are in the world, go look up Ngozi Fulani's nonprofit, Sister with the H, space. Send her money. Volunteer. Don't ask stupid questions.
Don't ask dumbass questions.
This is the thing.
Don't.
When I meet people, and I'll introduce myself. I say my name's Odochi. If say they said my name's Padma, I might say, okay, where are you from? Because I know that Padma is not a traditional. Most people I've met with that name are not or have another. They are connected to another country.
You ask where they're from, they give you an answer. That's the end of the conversation. That's the end of the interrogation in my mind.
If I ask somebody...
If they said New Jersey, then it's like, all right, cool. That's what's up. And then you keep it moving conversationally.
If I've asked somebody where they're from and I'm digging in, it's more like, because I'm like, we both have non-American names. So I'm now curious of where, because obviously we're both American, we're both here. So, but where are your people from? Because that's like a little, first generation immigrant story.
Oh well, but if you at the same time, if you said, "Hey, Odochi, my name is Odochi," and I said, "Oh, okay, where are you from?" and your answer is Long Island. Okay, you're from Long Island. There you go. That's the answer. Let people answer the way that they want to answer, and then just take them at their answer. Don't keep digging in because you want to know what their ethnic like genealogical makeup is. Like that doesn't need to be. You're not a reporter. Okay, you're not putting this on some weird ass blog. Where is this information going?
Just.
It doesn't make for good conversation is ultimately what I'm saying.
Ask a question.
Get an answer. That answer is the answer that you're going to get. If you
have a clarifying question, it's like you can only give like one, it's like you get one clarifying question. After that, if it seems like the person is not interested in continuing conversation with you, then you should say, you know what, it was so lovely to meet you. I look forward to talking to you again. And then you move on.
And then you keep it moving.
But the fact
you
that
just keep it moving.
This was like a probably 5 to 10 minute conversation.
That was
British
stuck
people,
on one thing.
They talk slow.
Yeah.
So she was probably, are you sure? But where are you from? Oh, but really?
Oh, but I want to know where your origins are.
Like,
Tea and crumpets.
I don't want someone's 23andMe. I don't want it. And the thing is, like, I, as somebody who's both American, whose one parent's American and the other parent is non-American, I love meeting people who are not from here necessarily, because we have a shared little thing going on.
And that brings up a really good point. If you want to volunteer that information,
yes,
that's fine.
Yes,
that's okay. But take the information that you're given, and then just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like if you're not given the information that like you're looking for. Like if you're trying to like dig in super duper hard, like, and it means you gotta ask the same question 5 more times, then you need to stop. You need to just chill out,
especially,
and ask a different question. Like, are you watching The Crown? Like, you need to move the conversation along. Read the room.
You're also,
the fucking room.
I'm looking at the pictures of this event. It didn't look like it's something where like, oh, we're going to be having all this like small talk. Ask me about...
It doesn't look like a small talk type of event.
You're not asking me about what I'm doing with Sister Space.
Let alone being stuck on the same question for like 5-7 minutes.
Are you going to donate your time or money to the women who are experiencing domestic violence?
My time is valuable. And I don't want to be stuck in a conversation that's going on in a loop like this is Westworld. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in a loop.
I don't want to be in a loop. Just move forward, move past, and I just implore anyone, if you're a white person, I think that you guys just should know that you have the least amount of access in these conversations. Just don't ask how are you? Don't ask anybody where they're from. Don't ask them about their name or anything, because we don't want to. We honestly, generally, we don't want to know like anything about. We don't want to talk to you about that. We just want to move past it. Ask it one time, and then whatever that answer is, keep it moving. That's it.
Oh, Dochi, that sounds beautiful. Where is that from? And maybe I'll tell you, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll be mysterious that day.
I have a whole fucking joke about like people asking me where my last name is from, and it gets shut down every single time because like I don't want to ask. I don't want to be like, oh, it's from Barbados and it comes from the middle of the island or anything like that.
Just
like,
say slavery.
Yes.
Where'd you get that name? Slavery.
Yeah. Well, yes. That's essentially my joke. Don't steal my joke, but take my advice. Take my advice.
But you want to know something?
There you go. No.
There was a funny post that I saw on Twitter the other day. It's kind of old, but it was like these 2 black people were on a Zoom call together. They both had the same name. And one of the white people on their team were like, oh, you guys must be related. And they're like, no, it's just slavery. Or we were on the same plantation or something like that. Mm-hmm. I personally thought that was hilarious. Mm-hmm. But then now everybody was uncomfortable. Well, you shouldn't have made it uncomfortable.
Well, sometimes shit gets uncomfortable if you keep digging into asking stupid
But
questions.
this is for everybody, whether you're, if it's another race or nationality, if it's another person of another gender or sex or anything, ask a question tactfully, respond when that person responds it, take it. If you think to yourself, does there need to be a clarifying question? Because generally there will not be.
Yeah. More times than not, you don't need to clarify.
You the information.
They give you.
We're not like if it's like we're in a crowded space. I don't want to give you my life story.
Yeah.
I just want to keep the conversation moving to wherever we need to get here. Because why are you talking?
Agreed. I also would
wanna
like
have
to keep
snacks,
the conversation moving.
and I want to go get a drink. You're impeding me from doing that.
Yeah.
And I probably have to pee.
I want to mix and mingle.
So get this.
Keep the ball rolling. Just keep the conversation going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. And whoever threw up those hearts, I give you a big thumbs up. Now, is there anything else that's grinding you? Look at the time.
No, there's nothing else. Why would you even ask me that and then tell me to look at the time?
Because I want you to be aware of the time.
No.
There we go. All right. So, to piggyback off of what Odie was saying, I think I'm taking a 2-year moratorium on being invited to anything, okay? I'm done. Do not invite me to go anywhere, all right? Like, don't invite me to weddings, funerals. Don't invite me to special occasions where I have to get dressed up in a suit and a nice tie or whatever like that. Like, I'm not going. I'm not being locked into an event anymore anytime soon for 2 years, okay? In addition to like the chaos, in addition to the unorganization and people not being communicative when it comes to time and when time things are and how long things are gonna last, and if it's the actual reception or if it's the actual wedding that we're going to, instead of all of that, like in addition to all of that, I'm not wearing suits no more, okay? Like, I have been in a pandemic for the last 2-3 years, okay? I have gotten bigger. My clothes do not fit anymore. I have to redo my entire wardrobe. I have not gotten around to redoing my entire wardrobe yet. So now, if I have to dress up fancy, I'm smushing sausage inside of a very small casing because I am thicker than I was when I was 30. I'm 33 now, and my pant size is 3 sizes bigger than it actually was. Okay? So I'm not going to your event. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One of my friends invited me to their wedding next year. I'm sorry. I'm probably not gonna go because you know what? I might go to that wedding. The only reason why that I might go to that wedding is because I have a bespoke suit that fits me as I am now. But if it is a anything else where I have to wear slacks or pants or anything that's not athleisure, I'm not going. It ain't happening. So don't invite me. You could be like, we were gonna invite Maurice, but he said on his podcast that he's not going. I'm not going. That's just what it is.
You could have worn those.
No, and yeah, I know that now. I know I could have worn that now. I was told it was a specific occasion, and you know what? We're not doing this. I'm not doing this right now. The next thing is family members, stop calling me fat. I am not fat, okay? Don't ask me if I'm fat. Don't ask me what happened with me. Did I gain weight? Don't ask me like, oh, is everything okay? Because like you're looking a little chubby and I'm worried about your health. I'm not fat. I am not a fat person. I weigh 190 to 200 pounds. It is not that bad. I am 5'7". I am 33. It happens. People's weight fluctuates and stuff. As I said before, I've been in a pandemic. I've been working from home. I've been having issues with my house. There's been stuff on my mind, and I'm sorry that I haven't been able to eat chin-ups and shit out push-ups, and I'm sorry that I haven't been able to do that the way that everybody else has been able to do that, all right? But my body is my body. My body is, I'm comfortable in my own skin Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna keep asking me if I'm fat, and now it's in my head, and now I think I'm fat, and especially because I have a mental disorder, and now, mental illness, and now I'm in my head, and I'm like, oh, now I have to be on the treadmill for an hour so that I can get down to looking like Kumail Nanjiani, you know, like so that I can just have like those. I'm not gonna call them I'm gonna just call them gutters. I don't want to call them sea gutters, but they're gutters, okay? Because sea gutters is gross. Don't call me fat, man. I'm not fat. I'm not fat. You don't have to worry about my weight. Don't worry about my weight. Don't ask me about my weight. I'm done. I'm done.
Everybody has fat on them. And even whether your body is big or small, it is your body, and you have to love your
I lost
body.
somebody from that rant, but it's okay.
You have to love yourself in all ways that your body has come up. And it is not anybody's place. Now, there's a... you can just leave it at that. You're right. It's not anyone's place. I think that unless you have... There are extreme circumstances where it has become an extreme situation.
This is not an extreme situation.
But this is not an extreme situation.
None of this is extreme.
And I think that we have to remember, especially like the older generations, that someone's weight, whether you think they lost weight or gained weight, is not a greeting. It is not a conversation starter.
And don't poke me in my belly as if I'm the fucking Pillsbury Doughboy, all right?
And
I peeped that. I peeped that somebody poked me in my belly, and I'm like, and I did giggle a little bit, but it was like out of fury. It was a fury giggle.
It's just, I think that, like, I mean, for me as a woman,
involuntary giggle.
I have heard stories and things about my weight since I hit puberty and I started gaining weight, which is why I'm always trying to tell you to not focus on that because it's not helpful. But I think that if people could just leave people alone about their bodies. Yeah, agreed. That would be great. Like, if say you look lovely today, if you can't say that, then just leave it alone. Unless someone is literally changed in a like you're on my like a extreme unhealthy pattern, then sure. But outside of that, like you're not going to be the same weight that you were at 33. You're not going to look the same you were at 23, nor you're going to look the same you were at 13. So yes, someone has gained weight. We have all gained weight, and we will gain and lose weight throughout the course of our lives, and that cannot be the thing that we are focusing on so much, because our outer appearance and how other people see us is something that does impact us in our mental health. And we don't need to have any other outside voices telling us things, that the things that are voices inside of our heads are trolling us with, because it doesn't matter how much anybody else tells you, you look great, you're beautiful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If other people start pointing things out at you that are not necessary, it's harmful.
And I hope you're listening to this, family members. I really do hope that y'all are listening to this podcast. This episode of the podcast is gonna go. I'm gonna even say, hey, you should listen to this episode. You should listen to it all the way to the very end, to the section where they talk about the gripes.
Just send them the timestamp for this.
I'm gonna send them the timestamp.
I think it's something that our parents' generation and just
I'm not saying which person in my family did it. I'm just saying family members in general as a blanket statement. Like don't do it. It ain't good. It ain't right. And I'm I wanna curse, but I will not. I'm not gonna curse at my family.
Keep your comments.
Keep your comments to yourself about my weight.
About people's weight, if they have acne, if they're losing their hair, if they're anything that's on my body, I will know what's happening with it.
I'm well aware what my stomach is looking like.
So you don't have
to you don't gotta point it out.
So I'm
well aware.
Let that be a reminder. You don't ever have to tell somebody something they can see.
There's a reason why I have a beard. It's all good. Now, enough with that. Okay, we're done with the gripes. We're gonna get into the things that made us happy in a segment that I like to call Baby Merchant, because this is the things that made us happy, and we're gonna sing Baby Merchant right now.
I'm the baby merchant, tots are us. I give you all the service and no damn fuss. Give the baby merchant just a week or two. I
Yeah, I love that song too. Now, since we started off with you in the last segment, we'll start off with me because that's how we do this. This is how we do it. This was Thanksgiving this past weekend, and I went down with my family. One, I enjoy doing this fucking podcast with you. So that's one with a bullet. I have a lot of fun with this podcast. I'm sorry that my energy is as high as it is. I was just yelling, and it's going to take me a while for me to come down at like a reasonable level. I get this passionate when I'm talking about the things that I care about, okay? And that's not an apology. That's just an explanation for context. But this is the segment about what made me happy. Doing this podcast makes me happy. Seeing that there are 3 people right now watching this podcast. At the most, there were 4. So shout out to all of y'all who were watching. Y'all stuck it out, and that's fantastic. Going down for Thanksgiving to see my family was fantastic. I got to play games with them. I beat you at Risk. You were there.
You cheated the first round.
Nobody cheated.
You semi-cheated the first round.
Nobody cheated.
You gave me the wrong instructions.
No, I gave you the right instructions. You asked the wrong question.
You gave me the wrong
You asked the wrong question.
The wrong instructions.
Are you gonna find your
All right, continue. You gave me the wrong instructions. It's fine.
It's fine. I came in 3rd in bowling, so that was fun. I got to see my family.
You were doing really well in bowling.
Yeah, I got to see my family. And my friends came to Thanksgiving as well. Shout out to Gladys and C.
Is that
and
your
Rhonda.
hair?
Is that your hair? And Round Away Girl. Or Round Away. Round Away Girl? Round Away? It might be Round Away Girl. Either way, shout out to you. Yeah. Shout out to you. And last but not least, shout out to my my best friend Sam. He's got a script that I got to read for, and fun. It was such a fun script, and it's such a funny script. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I hope he takes the notes that we gave and does more with it. And I look forward to seeing more progress with it. And that's it. That's it for me.
Number 1, podcasting with you. It's always my favorite time of the week. It's very enjoyable. I feel like we get to accumulate all of our good times that we have outside the podcast here in this little hour and a half, 2-hour time frame, which is great. And y'all are watching, which is even more awesome. And then, okay, so that's number 1. Thanksgiving. That was a very fun Thanksgiving. I had all of the Thanksgiving foods that I like to eat were there. They were done exquisitely. There was shrimp in the potato salad. I've never had shrimp in potato salad, but now I don't think I could eat it any other way. It was delicious. And also deviled eggs, which I rarely get a good deviled egg, but I appreciated it. It was delicious. All the food was great. The company was great. We had a great time. And okay, so this actually is be like the top tippity top thing is that I got to see my papa. My father is finally back from Nigeria. I'm very excited. I was very excited to see him. Got to see my family. Went to my cousin's wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. I thought that he like my cousin. He has always been out of the 5 boys, and the last one's a girl. But out of the 5 boys, he's always been like the most essential. Oh, damn. I think he might have came here during the pandemic, maybe. If not, it's been like 2-3 years. Maybe 2 years. But too long. It's been too long since I last saw him. So I was very excited because I missed him so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again before he goes back to Nigeria. So yeah, then we just had a great time. We got to hang out, play games, go bowling, which is always fun. I was kind of sabotaged before bowling, but we move. But yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty restful week. I'm looking forward to having a fun weekend, and all that. I think that it's just been. I feel like I've been at a very peaceful. Just like a peaceful time. The holiday cheer is within me.
Yeah, agreed.
I should get an eggnog. I need some eggnog. I need some eggnog and pumpkin pie. Listeners, please let me know if you like pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie better.
If you're on this live stream right now, say if you like pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie.
Pumpkin pie or and tell me if you think that pumpkin pie.
Cass, I'm not sure if you're still on here. Let me know if you like pumpkin pie or
tell
sweet
me
potato
if
pie.
you think that pumpkin pie
Matthias,
and sweet potato pie
Aunt Debbie
taste the same.
Well, first off, I don't even think anybody would believe that tastes
They
the same.
do
It does not.
taste.
They absolutely
They're
don't.
very
taste
similar
they're-
in taste.
They don't
It's
taste
not
the same, though.
exactly,
They absolutely
but it's a
don't
similar
taste the same.
taste.
We're not doing this right now. We don't have time.
Pumpkin pie is better, so thank you.
Yeah. Anyhow.
We don't know. We sorry. Oh, we didn't see it. Oh man, didn't see that one. We've already finished recording, so
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
no,
you.
didn't see it.
Thank you.
Didn't
Thank
see
you,
that.
Matthias.
Let's just say if you don't like pumpkin pie, that's anti-black. Okay?
No, it's not.
It is.
If you don't like sweet potato pie,
If you
that's
don't like
anti-black.
pumpkin pie, it's anti-black.
No.
If
First
you
off, nobody
don't
likes
like pumpkin
pumpkins.
pie, it's
It has
anti-black.
nothing to do with back.
It
like
is.
nobody
It's
was on the plantation
anti-black.
eating pumpkins.
They were.
No, okay.
Because it was an easy pumpkin.
Goodbye,
Pumpkins
everyone.
were easy.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. We'll be back again next week.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.